What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with Outpost, and today I want to talk about how Disney and Lucasfilm for The Rise of Skywalker, how they marketed this film in the lead up, how they pandered to certain groups, how they were virtue signaling, and how in reality they don't actually care about any of these people. All they care about is money. And we'll talk about why that is. And we'll talk about the blowback they've received from this pandering that they did in this movie. Now, if you remember, in the lead up, this was written early December, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, Finn and Poe aren't boyfriends, but J.J. Abrams hints at LGBTQ representation. And if you remember, Kathleen Kennedy was also talking about this as well, how she thought it was important for everyone to be able to relate to it and everybody to see themselves on screen. Okay, that's nice. It's nice when you say it like that. And then here's a quote from JJ. And in the case of the LGBTQ community, it was important to me that people who go to this movie feel like they're being represented in the film. Awesome. Awesome. But the problem is, when the movie gets released, the lesbian kiss is like a split second. A lot of people didn't even see it. I know people who have watched the movie 2 or 3 times, which I don't know why you'd pay to watch it 2 or 3 times, but, there are people that'll do that. Didn't even catch it till the 3rd viewing, even though they knew it was there because it was so small. And, just to be clear, I don't care about a lesbian kiss. I don't care if characters are gay. All I'm really looking for is a great story. When you start trying to focus your story around a character's sexuality or skin color is where you really lose the plot for me and a lot of other people. But that's not really the people that had a problem with this, is it? It's not people who didn't want to see it in the movies that had a problem with it. Why that Star Wars kiss is a step back for LGBTQ representation. That's interesting. Let's see, what about this one? Are we really going to pretend that gay kiss in The Rise of Skywalker matters? Star Wars director J.J. Abrams talked a good game, then gave us 2 seconds of lip service, literally lip service, between minor characters. That's pandering, not progress. And then again, Star Wars fans criticize Rise of Skywalker for throwaway same-sex kiss. It's not brave or groundbreaking. And then you can see some examples on Twitter. People responding to this The Hollywood Reporter tweet about it making history with the first same-sex kiss in Star Wars. A throwaway moment in the background with nameless extra is not particularly brave or groundbreaking. Save the breathlessness for when they give us someone with a name in the story. Another. So instead of having an actual same-sex romance that would have made sense, cough, Finn and Poe, cough, and we will talk about that. They have 2 random female resistance members kiss. Kinda lame. And then the last one, same-sex kiss in the background not featuring real characters. So brave. So stunning and brave, in fact. And, at the end of the day, that's all they wanted to do. They wanted to be able to market it like this, just like they did back in Force Awakens with Captain Phasma. They wanted to be able to say, ooh, look, our first female Star Wars villain, which is a lie. If you know anything about the expanded universe, female villains in Star Wars are not anything new, and in fact, some of the greatest characters in the Star Wars expanded universe were villains, and some of them happened to be female. Not that it mattered. It just was that way. They weren't marketed that way. That's not why people loved them. They loved them because they were great characters. But anyway, just like that, and then Phasma has no role, is a trash villain, doesn't mean anything, but they use that to market it, to pander to people. But guess what? Here's how you know that they don't actually care about you being represented on screen if you are one of the people that identifies that way. Because when it comes down to it, they're going to cut that out so they can release it in a country. Star Wars barely there same-sex kiss cut from Rise of Skywalker in Singapore. The film opts to remain a PG-13 rating over a historic moment. And this talks about why it would have been rated a certain way in Singapore and why they wanted more money. So they could release it in Singapore as PG-13 to get more money. So they cut out that lesbian kiss. They don't really care about representing the LGBTQ community, do they? And this was days ago. Lesbian kiss in Rise of Skywalker cut for Middle East release. This is talking about specifically in Dubai, that it was cut from Dubai because they wouldn't be able to release it in there if they had a lesbian kiss. So again, Disney, Lucasfilm, they don't actually care about you being represented on screen. all they care about is pandering, virtue signaling, and trying to make money. Which, hey, you're a company. If that's your goal, then just say that. But don't lie to everybody and say that we want to see everyone represented on screen when you're just going to cut it out so you can release it somewhere else. And since it's that way in Dubai, just saying Dubai is one of the most quote-unquote tolerant places in the Middle East, that likely means that it's going to be cut out of all Middle East releases. They were able to keep it in China, where it doesn't really matter because no one's going to see the movie in China. Not really, anyway. So kudos on that, I suppose. Good job, China. But, in the end, they don't actually care. Even when one of the stars of your movie, when one of the stars comes out, Star Wars, Oscar Isaac blames Disney overlords for no Finn-Poe romance. Even when Oscar Isaac comes out and says, I want our characters to be gay, Disney says, nah. Just look. Star Wars Rise of Skywalker actor Oscar Isaacs wanted a romance between Poe and Finn and blames the Disney overlords, which is a great way to describe it, for not allowing it. Goes and talks about here, Oscar Isaac wanted to see a romance between his character Poe Dameron and Finn in Star Wars Rise of Skywalker and blames Disney overlords for not allowing it. It talks a little bit about Oscar Isaac, how he joined, and then here we go. Though the pair is separated for much of the film Star Wars Last Jedi, many fans ship Finn and Poe, with the fandom dubbing the relationship Storm Pilot. Okay, that's interesting. I've never heard that one. I've heard pin and foe and things like that. I've never heard Storm Pilot, but there you go. In a new interview, Oscar Isaac expands on his comments even further. In an interview with IGN, Isaac reveals he did actively work to have Finn and Poe's relationship become more romantic, but it was met with resistance from Disney. He said, I think there could have been a very interesting forward thinking, not even forward thinking, just like current thinking, because it's current year, don't you know? Love story there, something that hadn't quite been explored yet, particularly the dynamic between these two men in war that could have fallen in love with each other. Isaac concluded by saying, I would try to push it a bit in that direction, but the Disney overlords were not ready for that. There you go. So instead of actually doing that, which I don't think that there was really room in this movie for a Finn and Poe relationship. Like I said, I don't really care if a character's gay. If it's part of the story, that's fine. If you're trying to ham-fist it in and force it in, I'm probably not interested in that. However, in this case, The Force Awakens took place over days. Last Jedi took place over hours, effectively. And Rise of Skywalker took place over hours. We didn't really have enough on-screen time to develop a realistic connection. You can even see that in The Rise of Skywalker with Finn and Poe. They do have some good chemistry on screen, just as actors. And with Rey in there as well at points. But they just don't have enough time together. It doesn't feel earned. It doesn't feel believable. So to even further try to cram a romance in there, I think would just be not really believable at all from my perspective. But that's separate from the actual problem. The actual thing is, they're trying to tell you that they want LGBTQ people represented and they're virtue signaling and pandering. In the end, they don't care. They want to make money. They are using you. They're trying to use people. But I think it's blowing back in their face a little bit, if you can tell by some of those responses, some of these articles that have been written, clearly calling them out for what it is. And that scene is, for some historic, groundbreaking scene that they were talking about, it is so small and in the background, and it's just kind of a joke. And I think most people can see straight through it. But what do you guys think? I want to know your thoughts. Make sure you let me know in the comments below. Do you think that J.J. Abrams, Kathleen Kennedy, and everybody, do you think they actually care about getting these people represented, the overlords at Disney? Because it seems to me that when push comes to shove, they're going to cut that straight out so that they can get it released in a country so they can make money. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.